At Remedial Studios, we believe some of the biggest struggles in the church are the ones people are afraid to talk about. This podcast is a safe space for honest biblical conversations about questions, challenges, and realities of young men and women. And if you've ever felt alone in your struggles, then this conversation is for you. Hi guys, welcome to Remedial Studio. Thank you so much for your amazing feedback on our previous video. We are here again with an exciting and intriguing topic. And I'm not here alone. I'm seated with the founder of Remedial Hub, who is the person of Baba Tunde Shola. And we're going to talk about something that is not often spoken about, which is the struggles of the church boy. So, Mr. Babatunde Shola, can you walk us through the definition of the struggles of the church boy?
All right, thank you very much, Jeffrey Charles. So, church boy struggles are struggles that young men experience as a result of growing in church and are expected to live a moral life, expected to live a spiritual life, and are expected to live a sexually pure life.
So, you're simply saying there are certain expectations the church, and not just the church, once you identify like as part of the church, even the society, there's a way they start like projecting you, there's a way they start seeing you and stuff. So I would want to know, do you or have you heard or have you seen or do you know of any real life example of boys that have gone through church boy struggles?
Of course, yes. I've seen so many experiences. So I'm just going to talk about two, right?
Okay.
Now, the first one was a young boy who grew up, he was done with his secondary school. You know, he went to university and came out. The young man was looking for a job.
Okay.
He have tried all sorts of getting job, but he couldn't get the job. And he also had a friend who got a job.
Okay.
And now his mom was comparing him with his friend. And at the later on, the pressure was too much. He had to go out of his way to meet some kind of people, and they taught him how to do yahoo, what we call fraudster.
Yeah.
And later on, he got caught, he got arrested, and he was sentenced into prison.
Wow. And this is such a common thing,
Of course.
lately.
Yeah.
So you said you have two.
And the second one is actually, you know, the church will always tell the teenage auditorium and the youth auditorium, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, keep yourself and all of those kind of stuff. Now, this young man, he kept a clean slate on all of those kind of stuff. And now when he got into university, he happened to find himself in a relationship. And in that relationship, he got his fiancée pregnant.
Wow.
Upon his parents hearing it, his father is a pastor. The father was angry, battered, shattered, bittered. The father had to like disown him because of his reputation was on the line. And this in turn made the guy to be very, very unproductive. So this church boy struggles has done more damage than good in recent times.
So what you're simply saying, because of certain expectation from church and everything, most people tend to wear these Sunday masks.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are just there. They are not exposed. They don't really know what's up in society. And when they get to be exposed to these vices, it just rubs off on them and just like takes them. So you said something about pressure, or you gave example of like family pressure.
Wow.
And also when the boy went into like meet other people, peer pressure too.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through the definition of peer pressure in relation to the church boy struggle?
All right, thank you very much, Jeffrey Charles. Now, for example, if a child or a young boy is done with secondary school and about to go to university, of course, you hear the parents tell the child is a church boy. Remember the family you are coming from. Don't join bad gangs. Go to school to study. Don't do anything that will soil your hand and all of those kind of stuff. The child will go into that university with the fear of what the parents have told him. So when you get into the university now, it's an afterlife. Another life entirely. Now when you get in there, you'll see people from different backgrounds. Get what I'm trying to say now? And now you cannot be able to relate with them because you are coming from a different background as well. You come up to class, you see them talking about march, you see them talking about bets, you see them talking about how they raise a particular girl and many other things. And you now, you cannot be able to relate with them because you are not in their clique. This will make you to be left alone. And at the long run, if you are not careful with yourself, your self-confidence will be on the line, your self-esteem will be on the line, and many other things. But if the church today, if they are teaching about peer pressure, and now they provide a solution on how to manage the peer pressure, you'll find out that that child, when he gets into the university, he will know how to manage. When I mean know how to manage, just like I am now, I'm a man. I can be a father to my children, and a husband to my wife, and a priest to my family. So now, if the church can be able to like give solutions to peer pressure, telling them if they go to school, know how you can manage this situation. There's a way you can blend with these people and you know how to manage them, necessarily not joining them. You find out that there will be little or no peer pressure in that boy's child life.
So meaning it's okay to see these people. It's okay to have a conversation with them and not like seeing these people as a no, like you're banishing them.
They are not devils.
This is real. They are not devils. True. Exactly. You're definitely going to mingle with people.
Of course.
And you will need people.
Yes.
Do you understand? You will need to like talk to people and everything. So parents too. I think you said the church, and the church, it's not just church in quotes. We have families in church, and these children, they all come from different families.
Parents
so
have
what
a
do
whole
you
lot
think?
of work to do.
The roles of parents.
Now, parents have a whole lot of work to do. Now, you can actually embrace your child, correct your child in love, not necessarily always doing it in pressure. You can tell the child, don't do this thing. Tell the child the reason why you are telling him not to do that stuff. Because men, as it were, and men has to do with male and female. God gave us inquisitiveness. Men are inquisitive. If you tell a child not to do that particular thing, the child will want to know why you tell that child not to do that particular thing. So if parents, as it were, are telling their child, their boy child, not to do a particular thing, they should tell them the reason why they are saying it, so that when you look at it now, you can be able to know why. There's always a why of a particular thing. You could be able to know why they are saying you should not do that particular thing, or you should not go to that particular place, or mingle with those particular people.
Okay, and not just like correcting them in fear, or leaving them in fear.
Of course.
Okay, that's beautiful. So part of the practical example you gave, you said something about sexual life. So I would want you to dive deep into that topic, sexual temptation and sexual urge, because we are all humans. I think you get to a point in life where you face a stage, puberty stage, whether a man, whether a woman, we just have all of those phases. So help us walk through it.
Remember while we were in school, the biology, they taught us about the puberty, the adolescence, and I think the boy child oftentimes have a reduced time of growing, right, compared to the girl child. The girl child grow fastly, right? So at age 14, at age 15, at some case age 20, you find out they start developing these bars in their voice, and then they start having hair in their pubic region and some sensitive part of their body. Now, there's sexual urge. It's actually biologically proven. Sexual urge will come. You get what I'm trying to say? Even there's something I want to talk about. Every boy child who is just growing, at your puberty age, at your adolescent age, you experience what is called wet dreams, whereby you might be sleeping in the night and as you will just stay like this and you discharge. Now, you wake up because you've not heard or you've not experienced such thing. You think that something is wrong with you. And if there's no love in the home as per se, you can't even go to your parents to say, mommy, I experienced this stuff, dad, I experienced this stuff. You would not want to go outside to make your peer group. And then asking them, they'll say, Omo, you've become a man. Let me use our Nigerian parlance. Omo, you don't become a man. You've become a man. So most of them will even advise you to go get a girlfriend so that when you're feeling this way, you'll be able to, like, you know, have sex and what have you. So if parents, as it were, because you know, charity begins at home. Before we even introduce the church, parents have a whole lot of work to be able to teach their child sexual education. Right? It's not enough to learn it in biology. The practical step. You get what I'm trying to say? So if parents who are inclined, who are equipped, will teach their child how to manage all of this situation, you will find out that this child is actually oriented on how to manage his or her sexual urge. Because if you don't know how to manage your sexual urge, you will always be driven at the erection of your direction. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. Anytime you have erection, you always want to satisfy that your erection as a boy child. And lastly, for this sexual urge, note this, that the boy child is moved by what they see. So when they see things that triggers them, their whole, reproductive organ are always alert, and many other things. So parents have a whole lot of work to do in sexual education of the boy child, though the father and the mother is not gender biased, but it's gender based.
So meaning sex as a topic itself should be embraced
in the homes, especially.
And even in church. Meaning you tell the child it's okay for you to feel this way. It's actually okay to go through all of these phases. But what's not okay is actually going through the direction of your erection, just as you've said. Okay, that's beautiful. So following what you've stated, if the sexual urge is not being controlled, it's definitely going to lead to certain addiction, which is not needed, and addictions can be harmful. And when I say addiction, I mean masturbation, etc. And I know these are things that you must have heard about, and you're a boy child too.
Of course, yes.
So can you also walk me through this particular struggle?
All right. So, addiction can be good, addiction can be bad. We have good addiction, we have bad addiction. But because of this context on what we are talking about, the church boy struggles, we'll be talking about the bad addiction. Addiction, as it were, are actually struggles that people cannot do without. At every given time, when the whole addiction phase come upon them, they will respond to the addiction. So because of sexual struggles, and maybe if the boy child goes to his peer pressure to seek for response, to seek for information, chances are that that child will tell him that, you can have sex, you can also go into masturbation. Most time, masturbation is not learnt by a particular person. Information, as it were, being given makes people to go through masturbation. So what is masturbation? Masturbation is when a boy child or any other person in the case study is actually playing with his or her genitals to derive sexual pleasure. And this in turn, you might just say, let you start it for the first time. But then once you start it, it becomes something that is actually a practice. You cannot do without it. You keep practicing it and practicing it. Now, let me tell you something. I'll use this scripture to drive my point. The Bible made us understand in somewhere in Hebrew, it says that there are innumerable companies of angels on earth. I tell you the truth, there are more angels on earth than human beings. It's just that we can't see them with our eye. The Bible also made us understand that we should be good, lest we can be able to speak to an angel, go away, but we don't know we have spoken to an angel. So now, if an individual is masturbating, you are not just having sexual pleasure with yourself. It is called an abstract projection. And what is an abstract projection? Trying to call this disembodied spirit to help you satisfy yourself. For no one can sexually pleasure themselves. This is why addiction is difficult to stop. Now, you find out that if this child don't know or don't have a proper sexual education, that boy child will be a victim of masturbation. Anytime he is always on, there's something called blue balls. Now, if the lady is on her ovulation, right, this is when the fermented eggs is going and new eggs wants to come. There's also what is called for the boy child, in which is called blue balls. Blue ball can be seen when a boy child can be on erection for a longer period of time. You get what I'm trying to say? So when this child is on blue balls, the child cannot know how to manage it. The child will want to masturbate. And if proper information is not given to this child, you find out that the child is always masturbating. And the truth is the fact that you cannot stop masturbating by your willpower. Willpower alone. It is the supremacy of God's mercy. Because consistency, as it were, is actually assisted by a spirit, either a good spirit or a bad spirit. Of course, yes, when you are masturbating, a bad spirit will be given to you to assist you. You get what I'm trying to say now? So you cannot stop masturbating by yourself alone. You need the help of the Holy Spirit. And if the Holy Spirit is willing to help you, then you must be accountable to what you are doing.
So following what you said, willpower is so important, but God's supreme mercy plays a major role in this. So I want to know if you have an example, a real life example of a boy child that went through this struggle and actually overcame.
All right, thank you very much. So because we are talking about the boy child, I would like to cite my example using a popular story of a man of God who shared it publicly. So the man of God said he was a victim of masturbation, right? He would always masturbate every time. In fact, when he goes to the toilet, we hear a voice that he say you should use soap while masturbating. So he got tired and he didn't even know how to go about it. But he was praying that God should help him. So God, according to him, God came to him in his dream and told him that for this masturbation that you are going through, anytime you have that feeling again, you should just be shouting, screaming. So he would put the practical dream to work. When he went to bed, that thought came again of him masturbating, and he was screaming, he was shouting, and before you know,
More
that
like
thought,
rebuking the
yes,
spirit.
yes, that thought just fizzled off. And now the truth is the fact that you don't do away with thoughts with thoughts. You do away with thoughts with spoken words. So if you're having a thought in your mind to do something, you cannot fizzle it, you cannot push it away with using another thought. You need to like proclaim the word of God. For example, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and of sound mind. God did not created me to sexually satisfy myself. I will enjoy sex and stuff like that when the time is right and stuff like that. So all those practical steps will help you also. Notice that you don't have to be alone. If you understand your triggers, you don't have to be alone. If you are alone, you always fall victim of being a masturbator. And lastly, I think if need be, you should get a counselor. And the counselor should not be the opposite sex. The counselor should be maybe your same gender, or if God is leading you, if it's an opposite sex and stuff like that. Because this case we are talking about is quite a sensitive one. Okay. You get what I'm talking about?
Okay, so meaning addiction is not a lifetime sentence.
No, at all.
It's actually something that with help of God, help from men, and your self-will, you can actually overcome this feeling and everything. Okay, this is becoming so insightful, and I'm loving this conversation already. I would want to know, lately, following the society and just everything that has been ongoing, plus the Olodo uprising in courts, so many people are suffering from identity crisis. They don't really know who they are. They try to identify, carry their identity to be fixed on something or whatever. So can you break down what identity crisis is as one of a struggle the boy child goes through?
Thank you so much, Jeffrey or Charles. So before I go or answer your question, I would like to quote this saying of a man who is late now, blessed memories, the person of Miles Morrow. He says that if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So you made mention of identity crisis. Now, for example, if a child is about to go to university, a boy child, you find out that they will have a family meeting. They'll start giving the child advices. They'll start telling the child not to do this, what to do, how to relate and stuff like that, patterning on the church. Now, if that child goes to the university, if the information and the whole tutorial that the parents had given to him is not strong enough, you will find out that the child will fizzle up. Have you not seen people who are good at home? Immediately they go to the university, they don't even know what they have become. That's why the Bible made us understand. It says that if the foundation be destroyed, what shall the righteous do? Now, even as a parent, if you are trying to give your children such an information, do it in love, prayerfully follow it up. It's not enough to talk about it to them. Because a whole lot of people don't know what they are doing. By the time they go out there, people from another background, people from who don't know where they are going, they will come and start inculcating some nomenclature attitude in that boy child. So identity crisis, I could see identity crisis in my own opinion that if this child doesn't know his purpose, he can always be tossed and tough on any side information that comes to this person. But if you know where you are going to and you have patterned yourself and have plan, a whole lot of us don't have plan. If you have plan, then you will not be swept away from identity crisis.
So following all of these struggles you've made mention of, from identity crisis, addiction, etc., I think one major struggle, it's like an interlink for all of them, which is financial struggle. Money plays a major role in society, and everybody, male, female, everybody is like up and doing. They want to like get the bag, know what's up, just that kind of thing. And for the boys in the society, To them, from what I've often seen,
Yeah.
heard, and what I've also experienced as an individual and stuff, the boys, they try to tie their value to the ability of being able to provide. While I feel like there's still more to what they can do. Do you understand? So I want you to walk us through that topic or through this financial struggle for a boy child and how they can be able to balance it, more like creating a balance.
All right, so you know this thing that they say adulthood will shock you, right? So you notice that many times young men, as it were, or young teenagers and young youth have a struggle of providing for themselves. Get what I'm trying to say? They would want to get the basic necessity of life, and there is always a struggle. They always depend on their mom, always depend on their dad. But the truth is the fact that it's a phase, right? You should not try to skip the class of the phase. You get what I'm trying to say? So when you walk through that, the Bible makes us understand, it says that you walk through the fire is not going to consume you. So it's a phase. So it's okay for you to go through that phase of struggles. It's okay for you to have financial crisis as it were growing up. But you should not stop there. There are books that you can read. There are informations that you can listen to. You could listen to Olumide Emmanuel. He's one of a money magnet individual. You could listen to Sam Adeyemi and also Miles Moro. You could listen to a whole lot of people. And these people will also prepare you on how you would actually have a beautiful financial plan, not just alone providing for the family. You get what I'm trying to say? Because men, our tax is not just alone for providing for the family. There are also major tax, like emotional tax, financial tax, spiritual tax, and many other tax as it were, because you would need to be there for your family, you would need to be there for your wife, you would need to be there for every part of the family. So it's not just only provision alone. And I think the church also have a whole lot of work to do, to create seminars, to create crash programs, to invite people of all walks of life, people that are well to do in the church, so that they can be able to talk to this boy child, so that they can come up with a beautiful work plan and a beautiful family and a beautiful financial plan as well.
Okay, from this point, I'm just going back to the practical example you had given when we started about the boy being pressured from his family and then going into Yahoo in quotes.
All right.
Yeah. So I feel like why he went into that, just saying, is probably because he lacked a certain skill set aside the pressure. So it's also important.
Yeah, we could also learn some skills, right? It's also good to learn skills because the world is actually growing day by day, revolutionizing. And it is important. If you don't catch up with the trend, then you'll be left aside. You know, I've seen a whole lot of people doing data analysis, videography, and all of those kind of stuff. It's okay for you to have multiple streams of income. What if you wake up one day and they tell you that they have removed you from your job? So what are you going to fall back to? What are you going to tell someone's daughter? How can you be able to feed and stuff like that? So you need to have multiple stream of income, not neglecting, you know, skills. Skills is very important for young men. Skills is very important. I say that again. Skill is very important.
Okay, and we also have places you can learn these skills from, and it's totally free. We have YouTube, we have Coursera, and just
Allison as well. I'm doing a course on Allison.
And it's free, guys, so be plugged on that, okay? So we are coming to the end of this podcast. I want to know, to any boy child listening now, they would want to know your final message to them. What would you like to say to them?
What I would like to say to the boy child is that have a quiet time, have a relationship with God, and have a mentor. Now, for everything that we're going to do here on earth, our source is always God. And for you to get to your source, you must have that quiet time. That quiet time is what will grant you that access to God. Now, if you're going into a marriage as a boy child who will later become a man, how can you pattern someone's daughter? Someone is entrusting his daughter into your hands. What will you be able to teach this person? How can you be able to sustain them? For marriage is a lifetime distance. So you must have your quiet time so that God will teach you on how for you to go about your life, your marriage, your ministry, your career, and what have you, right? So the second point is have a relationship with God. For we cannot move as church people, we cannot move as believers if we don't have a relationship with God. Our relationship with God is very important among many other things. While we are studying the Bible, it's also important that we should study books, great book, listen to great people and stuff like that. Then save what you want to save, throw away what you don't want to have, then take in what they are saying. You get what I'm trying to say? It's also good. Let me say this thing. You can have one mentor, but you can have too many instructors, right? At least you have this mentor, the person can tell you what to do, how to do it, and how to go about it. But also, if you're depending on that, your mentor alone, you are wrong.
Okay.
You can learn from people from all walks of life that will help you. That's why I also said that whilst you're reading the Bible, also read books. Very important.
Okay.
And the last point is that have mentor. I've also talked about it.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I think what we are basically saying, a message to the church is, let's make the church a safe space for everybody,
Truth.
especially the boy child. They should be able to feel welcomed and not judged. And not just the church, the family too, they have a major role to play. Make your boy child feel welcome. They should be able to say whatever it is going on with them. They should be able to interact freely without being judged, without having any kind of pressure from the family. And I believe we can make the world a better place again. Thank you so much for listening. Do have a wonderful day. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and share our video. Thank you. Bye, guys.